Assalamu Alaikum guys, welcome back, and straight off the bat I want to wish you all Eid Mubarak. Now I know for some that might not mean anything at all, but Eid is a special time for Muslims whereby they are gifted an opportunity by Allah to celebrate the passing of the month of Ramadan and to show gratefulness through prayer and intentions. On this day many Muslims will throng towards the masjids to make sure they pray their Eid Salah, and it's a beautiful sight seeing all the brothers and sisters joining in this prayer. May Allah accept it from us all. Ameen. Now, Eid is also a day to eat good food, and all across the world, Muslims are celebrating this blessed day with family and friends, enjoying snacks and treats that belong to their native cultures. And I think it's really important that we put our differences aside on this blessed day and come together to enjoy this precious time. It's kind of difficult sometimes though, and especially in the Western world, I know there's brothers and sisters who might struggle to get time off from work and commitments, so I pray Allah grants you the ability to join with us in Eids to come. Anyway, in the words of the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, تقبل الله منا ومنكم عيد مبارك علينا وعليكم. You might be wondering what that means. Well, let me help you out. A quick Google search reveals that according to mymuslim.org, there is a hadith that states that the companions of our beloved Prophet would greet each other in this way on the day of Eid. And although saying Eid Mubarak suffices, why not congratulate each other the way our beloved Prophet and his companions would? And just in case you're wondering, this beautiful dua means may Allah accept this worship from you and us. Anyway, moving on to today's recipe, I'm going to try and prepare some butter ghee. Some of you might be wondering what that is, and it's basically clarified butter. And what that means is it's super refined butter without the milk solids and impurities. Now there's a bunch of ways you can do this, and you can start with butter straight off the shelf, but I like to go one step further. So I use double cream as you've just observed, and I'll whisk it till it thickens into butter. Now this helps with it separating after, by the way, and I'll let the visuals do the talking for a minute while I explain some key points on butter ghee and its origins. Now most Asians have experienced the nutty, rich smell of ghee and spices getting to know each other, especially Bengalis over Eid, because I know my wife, along with many others, likes to go out of her way to prepare some pilau and a bunch of other items which rely on ghee as its fat content. So the love affair of Indians, Bengalis and Pakistani people all over the world with this lovely tasting cooking fat has its roots dating back millennia and started its life as a food preservative, as they weren't so blessed as to have fridges and freezers back then. Ghee finds mention in ancient texts and recipes and can be observed in Hindu mythology. So according to one Hindu story of creation, Prajapati churned the very first ghee by doing nothing more than just rubbing his hands together, and used it to create his offspring by pouring it on fire. Now how convincing that sounds is questionable to me, but to each is their own. Nonetheless, its uses are boundless, and it often serves as a base for many a herbal remedy, and being known by some as an important ingredient to a balanced diet. But I think I really want to focus on its taste and that it makes for a great cooking fat. Because it's so pure and free of lactose and casein, because of the boiling process of course, it means it has a super high smoke point for a natural fat. And what that means is it's safe to use at high temperatures without the worry of cancer causing acrylamide compounds being released, which makes it a super safe option compared to other natural oils. I know I'm banging on about it a bit much, but I genuinely think it makes for one of the best alternatives to using store-bought vegetable or rapeseed oil, and it also provides a deep nutty note to whatever food it is that you're using it to cook in. Putting all of that aside for a minute though, I'd like to raise some awareness of what's going on in the world, and specifically the Muslim world. Now you might be aware that in much of the Middle East, hardship and contention are running at a fever pitch. I know it's not the nicest thing to think about, but there is a massive loss of life, and many people are displaced and living on a mere shadow of their former existence. And I think it's our duty to stand by them in whatever capacity it is that we can. Essentially, that can mean keeping them in our dua, sending aid, or even raising awareness using platforms that we have access to like social media. Now we find a saying of our beloved Prophet Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Sahih al-Bukhari and Muslim, and I paraphrase, But the Muslim Ummah is likened to a body in terms of their affection, mercy and compassion towards one another, and that if one part of the body, such as a limb, aches, the whole body reacts and feels this pain. Now this simple statement should speak volumes to us, and I think that this is something that we can reflect on and attempt to develop in terms of our relationship with family, friends, neighbours, and in general just everyone that we have interactions with. I think the biggest impact in terms of ill effect from this current global pandemic is of course the loss of life and suffering, but also that the extended period of seclusion has made us recluse and taken away our desire to crave companionship. Now this is a problem that we observe, but our children are really suffering from, and Islam aims and has always aimed to tackle this by prescribing salah in congregation and by providing the blessing that is the masajid as a communal hub whereby our children and lady folk can gather and take immense benefit from. Now it helps nurture strong relationships with our community, and it also helps us all to network in a positive and halal way. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this short video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time guys, salam.